Hello, welcome to the Unconventional Intentional Podcast.
No.
No.
Hello. Hello everyone, welcome to the Unconventional Intentional Homemaking Podcast. I'm Issa and this is my wife Blaise.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about something that we've kind of titled our big to-do list. But that's not a very descriptive title. So what do we mean by that?
It's our massive to-do list. That's so much more descriptive.
Well done.
Yeah.
We'll probably start with the story. Let's start with the
story, yes.
So we alluded to this in last week's podcast, but towards the end of this year we came to a realisation. With the current way that the world is, the financial world is, everything, we are not going to be moving anytime soon. Now this was only ever a half-formed thought that we've been thinking about the last 2 or 3 years, that we would probably move and get ourselves a house that fits what we need our house to be a bit more.
We just need one more room.
We do just need one more room. That would solve all of our problems.
So many problems.
But anyway, we came to the realisation that we weren't going to be able to achieve that. So we would have to relook at our current house, which we are very, very grateful to have.
Oh, it's a good little house.
It
has
is.
Definitely served us well. And yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that we both, now we both need an office in the house, that's kind of the main driver for this.
Yeah, that was the main driver between us, with us wanting, that and a bigger kitchen.
That and a kitchen where we're not stepping on each other's toes every time one of us needs anything. Yes.
And a downstairs toilet.
And a downstairs, oh God, please, can we have a downstairs toilet? Oh.
So other than those things, which are big things, this house is perfect.
Yes. Other than all of those actually quite big things, the downstairs toilet I think is the biggest of those and the hardest to achieve.
Offices. And a bigger kitchen.
Well, I've got an office, so for me it's the downstairs toilet. So this house, it's a good house. It's a good baseline. We can make do here.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, up until about 2-3 years ago, probably coinciding with pandemics, to be honest.
Yeah.
We had never really considered moving before that.
No, it was definitely that both of us working from home a lot more that massively has driven this.
Yeah. And then because we've never stopped working from home since.
Yes, and that is going to be more of a thing going forward, not less.
Yeah, so that's that's highly unlikely to change for us. So it became more of an issue. So we started to look around and we've even picked out our dream house.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sale right now, but we can't quite afford it.
Just so frustrating. It's just that little bit out of budget.
It's just a little bit out of reach. But it has had a positive effect in that we have had to accept that this is where we live. We love our little house and this is where we're going to live for the foreseeable future, if not forever.
Yes.
Which means we should probably take care of it a bit better.
Yeah, all the little things that we just kind of put up with and make do with. And just, yeah, it's time we actually finished something in the house.
Yes.
And actually, got it up to scratch.
Yeah, mate. So if you watch our YouTube videos, you probably have noticed a few tired looking areas. Now you don't know the full extent of it because from a distance, most of the rooms look absolutely fine.
Well, let's be fair, no one, unless you're doing a renovation channel, no one's like, hey, you see this big hole in the ceiling? That's there. Because yes, we have a hole in the ceiling.
It's not that bad. It's only like this. It's only
a little hole.
It's only a little hole.
But this is the problem, isn't
about
it?
Smoke alarm, man.
About smoke alarm size. It is a little hole that we make do with.
We have put up with. Yeah.
That's the type of thing we're talking about. It's the little things that you just don't get round to because they're just not annoying enough.
Yeah. So that's what this podcast is about. That realisation, our realisation and acceptance that not only is this the house we are living in and we need to enjoy it, but also that it's absolutely fine to be happy with where you are. Sure, everyone or lots of people might strive for more or strive for bigger, better goals or whatever it is, but actually taking the time to enjoy where you are is really important.
Oh no, if we had the money, we would totally have that downstairs toilet in that other house.
If we had the money, we would definitely be buying the other house.
Let's not pretend that we wouldn't take the bigger house if we could. But also, for me particular, it was that mindset of looking at that and thinking, okay, well, if we did move, what would we need to do? And then I was like, well, hang on. Why are we willing to do that work for someone else? And why are we not willing to do it for us?
Yeah.
And that for me was like such a light bulb moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is this podcast about looking around and going, what are you making do with that you don't have to make do with?
Yeah.
And we're making do with an awful lot that we do not have to make do with.
And not only that, but by sorting all these little things out, you're definitely adding value to the house.
You're certainly making it more saleable if we ever come to the point where we can go and buy the house that we want.
It's just a win-win-win all round. Like, there are no downsides to doing this other than the time, the effort, the budget, the
all of those things.
all of the actual work and the doing things. But on paper, this looks like a great idea.
And at this time in the year, this seems like a great idea. Ask me in 6 months when we started, I may change my mind.
Well, yeah, because some of the things on the list are not small.
So we have called it our big to-do list because that's literally what we're doing. We are going around the house, room by room, and writing down every single little tiny thing that needs doing or fixing down.
All the way up to the really big things that need doing. Like,
yeah.
If it needs doing, it goes on the list.
Yeah, and this is going to include the garden as well, because if you saw our garden last year in any of our videos, there's some work there.
Yeah, we took the No Mow May and we ran with it for the whole of summer and then autumn.
For everyone that doesn't know what No Mow May is that, I don't know if it's a campaign just in the UK?
Probably.
But basically in May, when all of the insects and the birds and everything are kind of trying to settle down and do their thing for the spring, is you don't mow your lawn because it disrupts them.
It's massively disrupting. And yeah, we took that concept and we did not mow the lawn last year.
We did.
Once.
In April.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it got to No Mow May, we just kind of, we're done.
And mowing the lawn has been one of our struggle tasks.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's going on the list. The garden is going on the list. There's stuff that we have bought for the garden. How long have we had what are they called?
The raised flower beds.
The raised flower. How long have we had the raised flower beds for?
About 3 years.
They live in the lean-to.
Yeah.
Still in the box.
Well, they wouldn't fit if they were out of the box, to be fair.
Yeah, we had great intentions.
We've
got so many plans for the garden. We've had so many. It's time. It's time
to do the things.
To do the things over the next few years.
Yeah, so this big to-do list is not, we're going to get this done in the next month or even weeks or, year. This is going to take us the next few years.
Yeah. This is a 3 to 5 year plan.
Yeah.
So, at which point maybe that house will have dropped in price because it won't have sold.
It's been up for sale for a long time. No one but us wants it. So we do have a plan, sort of, vague one. And step 1 of that plan is to do what we just said, and it's to go around and write a big list. And when I mean write a big list, it's really going to be a really, really big list, because I'm going to write down every crack or tiny hole in the wall or bit that needs repainting or skirting board that needs replacing.
So I think we're going to categorise them per room.
To start with.
Mm-hmm. And then this isn't a once done thing. This is we're going to write what we see the first time around, and then every time we spot something new that isn't on the list, we'll add to it, which is why the per room, it gives you more space to just add to things and put it in a category immediately.
Mm.
And yeah, there's going to be so much that we'll suddenly need doing, or or we just missed the first time when we were going round.
Yeah. It's a house and they always need maintaining, and we have not maintained this house barely at all.
You've decorated it a few times. The paint is really nice. You've done a really good job with the paintwork.
Yeah. That's about as far as my maintenance went.
And we have, let's be fair, we have done a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we have, in the time we've been here, have made some dramatic differences. We've had a whole new fence put in the garden.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the fence.
We've had a whole lean-to, the old one knocked down and new one replacing it.
Oh yeah, I forgot that too.
Yeah.
These were quite expensive things.
These were not cheap things, but they were things that we have absolutely appreciated since.
They really needed doing,
Yeah.
especially with a dog who would escape if she could from the garden.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So there's lots of things, like,
Yeah.
and there are lots of skills that we do have, but there's also a whole bunch of things we're going to have to learn how to do.
But that's okay, because we've also proven that, because again, we have done quite a lot. It's not like we have just sat back. I would like to draw your attention also to my office.
We had to learn to replaster.
We had
for
to learn
that.
to plaster for the office.
We did.
We stripped the,
Was that this textured wallpaper?
we stripped the textured wallpaper that was holding the wall up. And big
So
chunks of plaster just came off, and this was before YouTube channel.
yes,
so
we didn't record
We
this.
didn't record. We got some pictures.
We do, which we can show at some point. But I can remember that. It's like you said, I really want to take this wallpaper off. And I said, if you do that, we're going to find a problem, because the only reason anyone puts up wallpaper this thick and this textured is to hide problems.
Hey, guess what?
The walls had a lot of problems.
We then had someone come round to quote us for plastering, and
Yeah.
he was like, to plaster this whole room, not only would we lose a bit of the room, he was like, you're going to lose a significant, like a good inch or so from the room. And then he gave us the quote, and we went a bit pale and went, plastering's not that hard, and we just want these bits patched up. We don't actually need the whole room skimming.
Yeah, we don't need the whole room doing. We'll just do the bits that require it, and we'll learn how to do that. How hard can it be?
Yeah. Particularly as we also knew that we were just going to cover the wall in material, because that's where we do some of our recording.
Yeah, so we were going to soundproof it anyway, so it didn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty pleased with the job that we did.
No, I'm very happy with what we did.
Mm.
But that the point of this is that was new skills that we need to learn, and I think that's the biggest like blocker to a lot of things. Like it took me 10 years to re-silicon the bath just because I didn't know how, and I kept reading up how, so I knew the theory. What were we saying the other day? A lot of DIY, it's about confidence.
Yeah, it's a lot more daunting than it is difficult.
That one,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that saying so much. It's more daunting than it is difficult. It's that's what a lot of this DIY is, and this to-do list is going to be so daunting and so overwhelming.
It is.
Oh yeah,
It's okay, we've got a plan for that.
Yes.
Which leads us on to step 2.
Yes.
Which is we're going to then categorise that list.
So it's going to be categorised into the rooms
to start
to start with, but then
we're categorised by what needs doing first, the types of things that can be done together. Like if we're going to be redoing all the carpets, we might as well do all the jobs that are required with that at the same time.
yeah,
That one's quite a long way off, but that as an example. Same with like if we're going to be filling in holes, we might as well fill them all in at the same time.
yeah. So with the carpet one, like we can't do certain other jobs until we're ready for the carpet because like some of the boards are just squeaky.
Some of them you proper sink into if you
Yeah,
stand
and some
on
of them
them.
like you stand on them and then there's
Yeah.
a good give to it. So we need
Yeah.
to sort that out, but that involves ripping the carpets up.
So yeah, we're not going to do those until we rip the carpet up, but there's other things that we need to do, like redecorating some rooms, that we need to do before we do the carpet, and there's
Yeah,
other things we need to do the carpet first.
Yeah.
There's basically going to be an order, so we're going to work out the order we have to do things in for it to make most sense.
Yeah. And then it's what do we need help with? Like there's some tasks that we physically are not allowed to do.
Yeah, there's
Like
a lot of
any-
electrical tasks.
Anything with electrics or the gas or the water mains. Like we will be getting professionals in for those.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure all these tasks are easy to do, but they're daunting, and
Well, some of them we're not allowed to
some
do,
of
like
them
the
we're
electric and
legally not allowed
gas.
to. Like
Yeah.
like the shower, we need a new shower.
Yeah. And the carpet, we will probably pay someone to fit the carpets, because
Yeah.
we don't really want to get that wrong.
No. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some things. So while we've got someone to do one of those tasks, they might as well do everything in the house that we need doing while they're here.
So yeah, if we're getting a gas engineer out, they might as well do everything that we need doing with
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah. So those things will all be lumped together, and then we have to get to a place where all those things can be done. There is a logical order to things.
There is, and we need to find that logic and write it down.
And then budget for it.
Yeah, and then work it into a budget. So there will be videos. If you watch our homemaking channel, then there will be videos on this. Some videos will be just a little bit of renovation, some will be bigger. Like, don't expect complete tear downs of houses and rebuild them. We're not going to do that.
The kitchen,
The
which may or may not, but that's probably not going to be this year.
No.
But like when I keep going, and there's some of these tasks that are big, we need a new kitchen. That has to go on the list. We need to rip that kitchen out. Find out why it smells of mould. Fix that.
Yeah.
Probably get the rewiring done.
And get stuff replumbed down there, because that's probably why there's some mould patches.
Yeah, find out why it's mouldy.
Make sure we dry it out properly and reskim any walls and all the things that are going to need doing to fix whatever damp problem there is in there.
And
then finally get a new kitchen.
So, and while we're doing that, we're going to have to still be eating. How are we going to be washing our stuff?
So we're expecting that to take
Dishwasher.
about 6 months from the point where we rip the kitchen out. We're expecting that to take about 6 months.
Yeah, so
before
that-
we can have a new kitchen.
Yeah, so that's going to be a whole thing. And I don't really want to be doing too much else. That's going to be so high stress. So we're then going to have to plan not just all of these budgets and things, but also our mental health.
Yeah,
needs to be
alongside
planned
with this.
into this, and make sure that this isn't going to break us as people, as a relationship, as a house, as a
I do know people who broke up during the time of our house renovation.
Yeah.
They got back together again after the house renovation was complete.
So yeah, times of high stress, like
Yeah.
yes, and we also need to consider external influences like our jobs and like let's not do this while you're trying to take your uni exams
Yes.
and things like that. And let's not do this while I'm at a particularly high pressure moment at work or anything silly.
And we're going to have to plan a lot of things around the kitchen, because we're going to have to set up a temporary kitchen elsewhere and wash things in the bar. I don't know where you wash dishes when you don't have a sink in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we've got to work out all these things.
How much camping gear can I buy?
Yeah. So anyway, that's the plan. That's our realizations. I think that's it. And the whole point of this is enjoying the house that we have, not lamenting the house that we don't have. Even though I do look it up on Rightmove every now and then.
I think that's our motivation for doing this. Like I said, that spark of, hey, why aren't we doing this for us? Why do we just?
Because that is where this started. Is that I was starting to list out things to you. Well, if we want to sell this house, we're going to have to do this, 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 and this, and this, and this. And I was like, that's going to take us a year.
And then I was like, why are we not just
doing that now?
Why are we just putting up with the door that sticks? Like, if some of this stuff is really basic, small stuff. I mean, it just needs planing and repainting, but it needs planing and repainting.
Yeah.
That's like a day's work, because we're not going to get anything else done that day.
The hole we mentioned in the ceiling, like, we learned how to put plaster on walls and things. We're most of the way there to knowing how to do that.
Yeah, we just need to do
We
that
just
to the
haven't done
ceiling. Yeah, we just haven't
done it.
It's just not been important enough.
Yeah.
We have not been prioritising us and
Our
space
enough.
for us enough.
No.
And it's ridiculous that we're considering doing this for other people and not for us.
So we're going to stop that, and we are going to make our house the best that we can make it for us. And that if we end up living here forever, then this is a house that we will love, and it will be ours and exactly what we want it to be.
That might involve moving some walls.
Possibly.
So this is phase 1 of our big to-do list. Once we've done these, we might go around and go, right, how else do we need? What else do we need?
Yeah.
And do we need an extension? What would that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, lots of things.
Lots of things. So I think as part of this categories, there's going to be some things that we're not going to get done anytime soon, but aspirational of like, if we wanted to put in a downstairs toilet, how,
Where would we put that? Yeah.
what would we be sacrificing to do so,
Yeah. And is it worth it?
and is it worth it? I can assure you, to middle-aged women, yes, having a downstairs toilet is absolutely going
Going
to
to
be
be
a
worth it.
requirement at some point.
That is going to be a problem that's going to creep up on us, yes. But anyway, on that note, that is our intention for the next year at least, probably longer. And if you want to join us on our journey, do check out our YouTube channel and subscribe here on YouTube, or go find it if you're listening to us elsewhere. Yes. We are Curious Life Intentional Homemaking for everybody, because that we will be documenting this and all the stresses and strains that go along with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fine. it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening. We will speak to you again next week.
Bye.